Okay, Ed, hello. Great to see you. Great to be here with you in our headquarters in Krakow. I'm very happy that we have the opportunity to host the Avnu Plugfest in our headquarters. How are you doing? How are you doing here in Krakow?
Well, first of all, thank you. It's a pleasure to certainly be here again in Krakow. It's one of my favorite cities. So what's interesting is we kicked off the Plugfest activities in Avnu almost a year ago. Okay, actually in December of 2020 was our first Plugfest. This is happens to be our fourth, and it happens to also, what's significant is it's the biggest. We have 16 companies total. Of those, 13 are actual developers, vendors, 2 are test equipment vendors, and then we have support from 2 of the labs that we're building up for providing global certification testing. And we're doing some new things that we're bringing to the program that we haven't done before, So it's pretty exciting to get to this point as far as where we're at. We're in our second day of testing. Like everything else during the Plugfest, there are challenges that you run into, but we've been able to resolve them, and we're continuing to push. So things are going good. And the other real benefit here is that we're at the home base of where the test tool is being developed. Okay, so it gives us the opportunity as engineers working with the test tool development team, side by side as we're testing. And getting more familiar with the capabilities of the tool that we've asked you to go off and develop for Avnu. So I would say, now comparing from my prior past experience, because I've known Comarch for 8 years, okay, working over in OCF and UPMP, and now in Avnu as it relates to TSN testing, that we've come a long way, okay? And it's been a very exciting journey, but it's also been very, very helpful from both sides. Professionally, technically, even in the relationship building that goes on between, the members, both inside here as we are and outside, because I do keep in touch with some of your colleagues externally. The other thing, too, is being able to come with everything that's happened, in the recent environment with COVID and so on, this is pretty significant because we're meeting face to face, and we're here for 5 days straight, as far as the testing goes, having the discussions, and your facilities as far as hosting us are excellent, because we have not only the test room, but we have breakout rooms where the teams can actually go out and have a discussion, technical discussion, come back and we continue the testing, or they could schedule the, calls if they need to their respective campuses to get some additional things resolved before we continue the testing, either during that day or the next day. So things are really going pretty good here as far as the Plugfest and the fact that we've been able to host it. So I've everything right now, even as I walk around on the floor talking to some of the development teams, they're really pretty pleased with the progress that we're making, and as well as coming here to meet, since most of the development teams are actually based here in Europe, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to pick a place that was centrally located, a place that was easy to get into and out of, okay? And at the same time, I wanted the members to get the exposure, because being here on site and actually talking to the test tool development team is really, it's not like it is where we have the calls on a weekly basis and we're on a call. We don't see each other, So this is pretty, really, it's been, I would say, we're on schedule, we're on target, and we're trying new things that we haven't done before that we've are introducing at the Plugfest in terms of new test flows and some other requirements that we've put in place, since a uniqueness about our Plugfest, okay, is that we don't just do interop testing, but we're doing conformance testing. So we combine both, using the test tool, that you guys have developed. So I would say, since we started down this road with you guys, that we have come a long way. And I think it's paying off as the members are getting more accustomed to the use of the tool that you have developed for us.
I'm glad to hear that, especially that's not the first Plugfest and test event of the certification organization that we organized together. So I'm just wondering, how would you rate our Plugfest? I mean, is everything fine? Is everyone feeling comfortable here?
I would say the facilities, the space, the logistics, the support, even, it's not uncommon sometimes when either something breaks down or someone forgot to bring something from their home office. And you guys have been very, very gracious, even going into your own facilities and bringing us hardware that we needed to continue the setup for the testing. And, one of the nice things, too, is coming to this particular site, it's really important that after full days of testing, people want to get out.
Yeah.
And Krakow is really a beautiful city. If members, and I encourage them, because I've done this myself in the past, having come here to meet with you all, is trying to come in a day or two early or leaving some additional time on the backside where you can actually spend some time visiting the city, because there's a lot of history here, okay? And the food here is phenomenal. Okay. So I just think that it's really the best of all worlds, especially coming here to Krakow. This is actually my second Plugfest here. The first one was with another consortia, and then we also hosted a plenary. And I think your facilities are really top notch for groups like ours that want to either take advantage of facilitating some sort of a test event like we have with the Plugfest, or for that matter, wanting to meet and do technical work and have breakout sessions, because your conference center facilities actually, enable that, which I think is really a good thing.
Yeah, networking is definitely one thing. The technical work is the other, and it's also very, very convenient for us to have you here in person to work with all our colleagues from the Avnu ecosystem that support us in the development of the TSN test tool. But what do you think about Comarch as a vendor, as a supplier of the Avnu TSN test?
So I have the advantage that I've known you now for 8 years, okay? And one of the things that I wanted to do was to have other membership in this particular consortia get exposure to who is Comarch and what does Comarch do, okay? And I thought it was very beneficial for you all to present and show us how, Comarch's got 7 different divisions, okay? Comarch can offer additional services. Comarch can help with the development. Comarch can help with debugging the software development. And I think some of the members that after you all had presented, so that there really is a benefit. I do know that there's 1 or 2 clients that have already engaged you to work that are Avnu members. So for me, it's basically a testimony, because I've worked with you before in the past in a different consortium, in a different setting, with different requirements, and I myself have found that very, very beneficial. But I think coming here and now having some of the membership see this, because they'll go back next week, and then that's when this stuff continues to evolve as far as the discussions, their experience. We do take a survey after every Plugfest, and I'm anticipating to see some really positive things based on, I've spoken with some of the members that are on the floor today testing, as well as yesterday. Yesterday was the first day, So I think that, if I was to give Comarch a rating, it would be, an A. Top. Very flexible, very cooperative, very helpful, and even some of the recommendations, both technically, professionally, and even from a social cultural aspect, So
yeah, that's our strategy. That's how we want to work. So it's not only about the development of the test tool itself. We want to be also much more closer to members of the alliance. This is where we want to build this and scale our business, and also contributing to the development of the standard. So great.
I would probably add one other thing to that. When we first started this engagement in Avnu, as you recall, I had mentioned to some of your colleagues that what we're looking for is a long-term relationship. Okay, And, as we continue to share with you our roadmap, which continues to add on new requirements and new capabilities that we want to put inside the test tool, I think it's important to have that relationship. And something else that I have to share with you is your transparency as a company in terms of what you can do, where you have issues, where you have concerns, where you may need help, how you can help us, has been extremely productive. Because I take that back to the board, and when I'm providing information and update from both sides of where we're at, what are the challenges, what are the issues, how we're going to resolve them, and continue to work through them. So that's another, I would say, good sign of not just the flexibility, but the fact that you've been very, very transparent with us. And I think it's really important because we're having to make decisions based on the information that we have to work with.
Great to hear that. We're the part of the ecosystem, so that's also very important for us to, work in a very open and transparent way. So I'm very happy to hear that, Ed. Thank you for this chat.
Yeah, well, thank you for the time and thank you for the coffee. Yeah, thank you for the hospitality. And I look forward to our continual engagement, when I look at our roadmap, because it goes out for several more years. And then, of course, I'm sure that there'll be other things and other opportunities that we may engage with from a technical point of view. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.